Picture this moment. Two people, two separate rooms. No communication, no second chances. Each of them must make a single decision: cooperate or betray. What they daren't realize is that this one quiet choice will decide not only their own fate, but the fate of the other person as well. And here's the terrifying part: the smartest choice can lead to the worst possible outcome. Now, zoom out. Replace those two people with entire nations. Replace silence with suspicion. Replace betrayal with missiles. In the late 1940s, the world entered a new era, one where a single decision could erase cities in seconds. Governments didn't fear weakness, they feared trust. Because trusting the wrong side didn't just mean losing power, it meant extinction. Every country thought the same thing, that if we cooperate and they betray us, we lose everything. So they armed themselves. They prepared to strike first. And by doing so, they trapped themselves in a system where everyone lost, even while acting rationally. This wasn't madness, it was logic, and that logic had a name: the prisoner's dilemma, a simple game that revealed a horrifying truth about human nature. When fear and self-interest collide, intelligence alone cannot save us. The very strategies designed to protect us can slowly push us toward destruction. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Because hidden inside this bleak dilemma is something extraordinary: a scientific explanation for trust, cooperation, forgiveness, and even morality itself. It explains why enemies sometimes choose peace, why nature rewards cooperation, and why civilizations survive not by dominating, but by learning when not to. This isn't just a theory, it's a warning. And it's a lesson humanity keeps relearning again and again. The question is no longer what is the prisoner's dilemma. The real question is, will we ever learn from it before it's too late? At first glance, the prisoner's dilemma looks like a simple logic puzzle, almost like a game. Two people, two choices, and a clear outcome. But beneath this simplicity lies a problem so powerful that it has shaped wars, economies, and even the evolution of life itself. This dilemma isn't confined to prison cells or thought experiments. It appears every time trust is tested and communication breaks down. Every day, people face versions of this dilemma without realizing it. Two countries decide whether to disarm or build weapons. Two companies choose between fair competition or ruthless tactics. Two friends decide whether to keep a promise or act instead. In each case, cooperation creates the best shared outcome, yet fear pushes individuals toward betrayal. What makes the prisoner's dilemma terrifying is that rational thinking can lead to irrational outcomes. When each person acts logically for themselves, everyone ends up worse off. Intelligence doesn't protect against this trap. In fact, it often deepens it. This problem matters because it exposes a flaw in how we understand success, survival, and strength. If selfishness were truly the winning strategy, cooperation wouldn't exist at all. Yet cooperation is everywhere in nature, in societies, and in human history. The prisoner's dilemma forces us to ask a disturbing question. If cooperation is so fragile, why does it survive? And if it does survive, what rules keep it alive? In 1949, the United States made a chilling discovery. Radioactive traces in the atmosphere proved that the Soviet Union had successfully tested a nuclear bomb. Overnight, the world changed. The United States no longer held absolute power, and the fragile balance of global security shattered. Both sides feared the same thing: betrayal. If one nation disarmed while the other secretly prepared an attack, the result would be total destruction. Cooperation promised peace, but trust felt suicidal. So each side chose the safe option: prepare for war. This fear led to an arms race unlike anything in history. Weapons were built not to be used, but to threaten. Entire cities became bargaining chips. Each government told itself the same story: we don't want to attack, but we must be ready if they do. This was not madness or evil intent. It was logic under uncertainty. And that logic trapped both sides in an escalating cycle where safety demanded greater danger. The more weapons were built, the less secure the world became. Military strategists desperately needed a way to understand this paradox. Why did rational decisions create catastrophic outcomes? Why did fear overpower cooperation even when cooperation was clearly better for everyone? The answer would come not from politics, but from mathematics. At the Rand Corporation, researchers were trying to model nuclear decision-making using game theory, the mathematics of strategy. Two scientists, Merrill Flood and Melvin Drescher, designed a simple experiment to represent Cold War logic: two players, two choices, cooperate or defect. No communication. If both cooperate, both benefit. If one defects while the other cooperates, the defector gains while the cooperator suffers. If both defect, both lose. The shocking result was this: defection is always the rational choice, no matter what the other player does. And yet, when both defect, the outcome is worse than mutual cooperation. This contradiction became known as the prisoner's dilemma. What stunned researchers was how accurately this tiny game mirrored real-world conflicts. Nations, corporations, and individuals all followed the same logic. Protect yourself first, even if it hurts everyone in the long run. The dilemma revealed a painful truth. Being rational does not guarantee being wise. Acting in pure self-interest can destroy shared futures. The prisoner's dilemma wasn't just a game, it was a warning. If both countries' survival favors strength and selfishness, then cooperation should be rare in nature. And yet, it isn't. Animals groom each other, share resources, and form alliances. At first, this seems to contradict evolution itself. But the key insight is repetition. Animals don't interact just once. They encounter the same individuals again and again. In these repeated interactions, betrayal carries consequences. An animal that cheats today may be ignored tomorrow. This transforms the prisoner's dilemma. When the game is repeated, cooperation becomes possible. Trust can slowly emerge, not from kindness, but from strategy. Nature teaches us something crucial. Cooperation doesn't require morality, it requires memory. Political scientist Robert Axelrod decided to answer a bold question: which strategy wins the repeated prisoner's dilemma? He invited scientists to submit computer programs representing strategies. Each program would play hundreds of rounds against every other strategy. Some strategies were aggressive, some were deceptive, some were complex and clever, and then there was tit for tat, the simplest of them all. Tit for tat followed just two rules. Start by cooperating, then copy your opponent's last move. That's it. Against cooperators, it thrived. Against defectors, it defended itself. It never started a fight, but it never allowed exploitation. To everyone's surprise, it won. The lesson was revolutionary. Cooperation isn't weakness, it's strategy. Axelrod identified 4 principles behind successful cooperation. Be nice, be retaliatory, be forgiving, be clear. These rules didn't just explain games, they explained societies, ethics, and trust itself. In real life, mistakes happen, signals fail, misunderstandings occur. Pure retaliation can spiral into endless conflict. That's why forgiveness matters. Strategies that allowed occasional forgiveness survived chaos better than strict punishment. Cooperation required flexibility. Life is not a single decision, it's a repeated game. Every choice teaches others how to treat you. Every action shapes the future environment. Cooperation doesn't emerge from hope, it emerges from strategy, patience, and understanding. The prisoner's dilemma shows us something profound. The future belongs not to the strongest, but to those who learn when to cooperate. The prisoner's dilemma isn't just a game. It is a mirror reflecting the choices we make as individuals, societies, and species. From nuclear standoffs between superpowers to a simple act of trust between neighbors. It reveals the fragile balance between fear and cooperation. It reminds us that even when betrayal seems safer, cooperation can create outcomes far greater than self-interest alone. History shows us the stakes. During the Cold War, the world teetered on the edge of annihilation. Rational decisions led to irrational dangers. Yet, through patience, trust, and incremental cooperation, catastrophe was avoided. In nature, cooperation is no less remarkable. Impalas groom each other, cleaner fish service predators, and countless life forms survive by working together. Cooperation isn't born of morality. It is born of strategy, repeated interactions, and the understanding that survival often depends on mutual benefit. Robert Axelrod's experiments revealed a universal truth. Being nice, retaliatory, forgiving, and clear isn't weakness, it is strength. The simplest strategies, grounded in fairness and reciprocity, consistently outperformed cunning and aggression. This principle extends beyond games, science, and international politics. It applies to every relationship, every choice, every decision that ripples outward into the world. So the question is not whether cooperation is possible. The question is whether we are willing to choose it, even when fear tempts us to betray it. Every action shapes the world, and every choice carries consequences far beyond ourselves. The game of life is continuous. Play wisely, play patiently, and remember, the strongest are often those who know how to trust.